What is going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I am Joel Friday. Welcome to the show. A few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it, lay the smack down, like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. Hold on, I gotta make sure I ain't looking crazy. As you guys know, we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Punchy.tv. And at any point during the show, you guys can call in at 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, because it is a talk show, and you can call in. We can get into whatever you want. And if for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV, or go directly to the live YouTube chat. Hit the super chat button there in the comment section, and I'll read your question or comments live on air and as they come in. Amazing stuff. It's going crazy. Anyway, what's today? You guys know I've been theming the shows. What's today? Today's Tuesday. True Crime Tuesdays. True Crime Story Time Tuesdays. Oh, we are doing it. We are trying a new thing where we're theming these episodes, y'all. And we're going to do our best to stick with these themes. And we're going to get into it. I got some stuff I want to present to you guys today. I got some stuff I want to share with you guys. It's Tuesday, True Crime Story Time. And we're going to get into some stuff. Okay? Because, Lord have mercy, I got some information I want to share with y'all. It may not be deep to you, but it was kind of deep to me. Maybe I'm just ignorant. Maybe I'm just naive, okay? Maybe there's some naivete. On me. Okay? But nonetheless, I still want to share it with you guys. And because I think it was like a week ago, I reported on Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram and blah, 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 right? Mark Zuckerberg has changed his stance on a lot of different things, right? He seems more even keel. He seems more pro free speech. Like he seems like he's like had this awakening, right? And I spoke about it on my show probably like last week or something about like, wow, this is kind of nice. Mark Zuckerberg waking up. And a good friend of mine was like, boy, what you talking about? And in my mind, I'm like, Mark Zuckerberg is waking up. He's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to, make a change, be better, right? And that's what I was at in my head. there's the truth is being revealed. There's a shift happening in the world, especially in politics. And Mark Zuckerberg is on the side of that shift, trying to be a better person, right? That was my stance. And I still hold it to a degree. But the good friend of mine was like, Joel, what's wrong with you? This is all a play. This is all a game. This is a scheme. He has an agenda, and he's playing a game. And I was like, well, what makes you believe that? And my friend was like, well, during his trials, during the trials against him, Mark Zuckerberg was on trial. They were suing him for, I don't know. I forgot exactly what it was. But it was about the children being exposed to a lot of the stuff that was on Facebook, right? Censorship and all that stuff. And when he was on trial, he was real quiet, right? Didn't want to answer questions, didn't want to say much. Kind of like it was been said he was kind of protecting his reputation, protecting his views, whether they were corrupt or not. So my friend was like, he has an agenda. He's playing a game. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to save his face and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, interesting. But I was doing a little bit of digging, doing a little bit of research. Just a little bit. And what I have come to, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, right? I could be wrong. This is just my opinion. Why we can both be right. My friend and I can both be right. And I think maybe that we both are right. Maybe that Mark Zuckerberg is trying to be better, but also he's trying to save face. Also, he's trying to protect his self, along with also known as assets, also known as reputation, right? Though that can also be true. And I want to get into that. Joel is Bond's DEI, baby. So this is from Politico, okay? This is from Politico. And I thought this was interesting because I want to do a little timeline breakdown for you as to when Mark Zuckerberg's ideas and mindset seemingly started to change. I want to do a little timeline breakdown here, okay? This is from Politico. Former President Donald Trump writes in a new book that was published in September. Mark Zuckerberg plotted against him during the 2020 election and said that Meta chief executive would spend the rest of his life in prison if he did it again. So Trump wrote in his book that Mark Zuckerberg plotted against him during the 2020 election, and he threatened to throw him in jail if he did it again. Trump goes on to say in the book, the book is called Save America. A Trump-authored book released, blah, 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 includes an undated photograph of Trump meeting with Zuckerberg in the White House. Under the photo, Trump writes that Zuckerberg would come to the Oval Office to see him. He would bring his very nice wife to the dinners, and as nice as and can be, and was as nice as can be, while also plotting to install shameful lockboxes in a true plot against the president. This is what Trump writes in the book. Trump added and referred to a $420 million contribution to Zuckerberg and his wife. Contribution from Zuckerberg and his wife made during the 2020 election to fund election infrastructure, right? So Trump is saying that Mark Zuckerberg sent $420 million to overthrow the election, right? That's according to the book, or at least to fund election infrastructure, right? According to Trump. He told me, Trump says, he told me there was nobody like Trump on Facebook, but at the same time, for whatever reason, steered it against me. We are watching him closely, and if he does anything illegal this time, he will spend the rest of his life in prison. as will others who cheat in the 2024 presidential election. That's what Trump wrote in his book, right? That was released in September of 2024, and it was named Save America. Okay, but this is where it got a little deep to me. This is where it got deep to me, because in July of 2024, before the book was released, right? Trump wrote in a July post on Truth Social that if he was elected, he would pursue election fraudsters at levels never seen before, and they will be sent to prison for long periods of time. We already know who you are. Do not do it, Zuckerbucks. Be careful. So Trump sent that tweet on Truth Social and basically warning Zuckerberg, be careful, right? And I think at that point, honestly, in my opinion, according to the timeline of events that I'm gonna unfold for you right now, I think at that point, Zuck got scared. Zuckerberg got scared, right? I think he kind of knew the influence that Trump had. I think he kind of knew that he could do something about it. And this is my opinion. The conspiracy theorists can have their opinion as well. But I think Zuckerberg got scared, right? Because right after that Truth Social tweet, literally same month, in July, Bloomberg TV, this from Bloomberg TV, Mark speaks on changes within Meta and compliments Trump's bravery after being shot. This is from Bloomberg TV. Here we go.
So I think you're going to see our services play less of a role in this election than they have in the past. And personally, I'm also planning on not playing a significant role in the election. I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. The historic events over over the weekend. And on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But, and I think, look, at some level as an American, it's hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit and that fight. And I think that's why a lot of people like the guy.
Boom. So now Zuckerberg licking boots, right? This is back in July. Zuckerberg licking boots, right? Trump threatens them in the book. Well, the book wasn't out yet, but Trump threatens him in the Truth Social post saying, you guys better be careful, you little fraudsters, because if you guys pull some of this again, you'll be in jail for a very long time. And then he all of a sudden starts openly saying that he's going to change the rules of Facebook and Meta and all this stuff, censorship, right? Starts licking boots. There's no way that's a coincidence, right? But it's going to make my point in a second here, right? But let's move on. So that was in July, right? Right after that tweet by Trump. That same month, Zuckerberg comes out with Bloomberg TV, that clip. August, next month, Mark Zuckerberg writes an apology letter, right? Writes an apology letter about the censorship, that he played a role, that they played a role in the COVID, the Biden administration's, well, I guess I can't say too much, but they played in a role in Biden administration as far as leaning more towards the Democrat side, right? Let me see if I can pull this up. He writes an apology letter.
So I think you're going to see our services.
What the? Hold on, y'all. Technical difficulties. So anyway, he writes an apology letter. And what does that say? Right? Apologies letter basically saying that this time around, I'm gonna try to be more fair. Right? I made some mistakes. I sided with the Biden administration. And you guys could look up the letter yourself. It's public information. You can find it pretty much just by looking it up on Google. And he basically said that he was doing he's basically said that the Biden administration was influencing them to do certain things. He says, as an independent company, Meta didn't have to be influenced, but we were. And we were leaning more on the Democrat side, and that wasn't fair. So he basically said, I will change my ways, and we will be better about being nonpartisan, and we will not endorse any party, and we will be fair. That's basically what the apology letter said. And he's sorry, right? A month after Donald Trump said, right? Then, what's today? Today is January. And then last month, the end of December, maybe early January, I'm thinking December. I didn't get the exact date for this, but I know this was like within the past few weeks. All right, maybe a month. In December, Mark Zuckerberg releases a statement saying that he's going to be more fair, and he rolls out exactly what he's going to be fair about, right? I don't have that clip for you there, but it's basically saying the same thing the apology letter said, basically saying the same thing he's been saying, right? This change. But he goes on Joe Rogan's podcast and kind of spills the beans a little bit, right? Kind of calls out the Democrats, calls out the Biden administration, like almost like exposing them, right? To save his butt or to get the truth out. That's up for opinion. But this is from Powerful JRE, which is Joe Rogan's channel. Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan's podcast exposes the Biden administration for bullying the Meta team in recent years. Here we go.
These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse. And it's like these documents it's all kind of out there. And basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. And then at some point, I don't know, it flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. Then like all these different agencies and branches of government basically just like started investigating and coming after our company. It was brutal. They pushed us super hard to take down things that were honestly were true, right? I mean, they basically pushed us and said, you know, anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that. I mean, that is kind of inarguably true.
Who is they? Who's telling you to take down things that
it was
that talk about vaccine side effects?
It was people in the Biden administration.
Boom. So a lot of people knew this already, that the Biden administration and the Democrats were doing tricky things and very manipulative things and very slick things and not playing by the rules and doing all kinds of crazy evil stuff. People knew that. People knew this was happening, but nobody can confirm it because it seemed like a conspiracy theory, right? It seemed like a conspiracy theory for a long time. Probably when I first heard it, I was probably like, come on. People aren't that crazy. People wouldn't do that. Come on, not the government, right? But then you start to see more and more stories presented on Jesse Lee Peterson's show, or you doing your own research, or just being out in the world, and you start to really see these things to be true. And you're like, oh, shoot, this stuff is going on. So I love the fact that he went on there, for one, and to confirm things that people were believing to be true. So I like that. But it also kind of seems, on the other hand, to play devil's advocate, right, to side with my good friend, that it also seems kind of guilt-ridden. It does also seem a little guilt-ridden, right? Like, why all of a sudden you want to go on these podcasts and be vocal about these things, right? Why all of a sudden now you want to make it widespread known that you're going to change your ways around, right? Which we love it, but because that means more free speech. That means fairness across the board, hopefully, right? But it's like, why all of a sudden? And what I think it means is that he got scared. I think he saw a threat in Donald Trump, and he knew that Donald Trump meant business, and he felt that. And I think that made him change his stance. Now, one more thing I have here about him, just to further make my point, is this from the Financian on Instagram. This change is part of a broader shift. Oh. Give me 1 second here. This is a picture I want to show you guys. Because this is where you're kind of thinking, okay, what's going on? What's going on? Because this is an abnormal thing for a person to do. You don't typically see this from a person on the left, right? Or somebody who is very famous and popular and wants to stay famous and popular. You don't see this type of behavior I'm about to show you guys right here in this picture right here. Wow. Mark Zuckerberg removes transgender and non-binary themes from Meta's Messenger, right? And that seems like a simple task that he's doing. It doesn't seem nothing crazy, right? He's just removing the themes, right? But that's also making a statement. And according to this source, the Financian, I'm going to read it here. The Financian, it says Meta has recently removed transgender themes, and this change is part of a broader shift in Meta's policies, which includes discontinuing its diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI programs and modifying content moderation guidelines. Notably, the company has relaxed certain restrictions, now permitting statements that label LGBTQ plus individuals as mentally ill based on their sexual orientation and gender identity. So basically saying that he's laxed the pushback or the censorship of you saying anything about the gays. Remember when I posted a little video and I said pride at home? I didn't even say nothing bad about the gay. I just said pride at home. And then he labeled my Instagram labeled my profile as having to be approved and double checked, right? Well, basically what he's doing now, according to this source, is now he's taking that away. No DEI stuff. You don't have to worry about saying having your opinion about the gays, and boom. And that seems like a heavy stance for somebody like a Mark Zuckerberg, right? Founder of Meta, one of the richest men in the world, right? Seemingly were to fall more on the Democrat side in past years, right? It doesn't seem like that's something he would do. Unless either he's waking up or he's afraid. Is he waking up? Or is he saving face? Those are my questions. But the point that I'm trying to make here, and then I'll get to you guys' calls, super chats. The point that I'm really trying to make here is that I believe that when you have somebody like Donald Trump who has actual authority, real authority, and he comes in and he flexes that, then people get in line. People get in order, right? He know authority is, people become subject to it. Not only that, people just obey because your authority is felt. And I just believe, in my opinion, that a lot of people, now that Trump is in there, he's gonna do what he has to do. And if he does exactly what he says, he's gonna take that hard stance that we've all been waiting for, that we all been looking for him to do. He's been saying he's gonna do it. He's been talking about doing it. And if he takes that, a lot of people either are gonna get upset or they're gonna get in line. And those typically people who get in line are the ones who typically are trying to, find the truth or have a little bit of conscience in there, right? So I'm not saying that Mark Zuckerberg is completely innocent. He doesn't have an agenda. I don't know. But I'm also giving him a little space to maybe he's genuinely saving his company, of course, right? Saving his self from consequences, but also kind of just trying to be a little bit more fair, right? Maybe trying to wake up a little bit. I think. But authority would do that to people. Authority would do that to folks. That's what a father is supposed to do in the home. That's what a authority does for with a husband and his family. That's the point. The authority gets everybody in line, and it puts a little fear in folks. Just so because they know who's has the authority. And it's not a fear of like, I'm scared of him, maybe a little bit. But it's more like, I respect them. I respect him. It's more like a respect. So there's people who will get it and there's people who won't. And my last clip I want to show you guys here is there's people who won't get it. There's people who, even with that authority, they'll still reject it and they'll still work with evil. They'll still stand with evil. And one of those people, I gotta say, is Miss Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC. That girl is something else. This is from AOC's Instagram, where she speaks about the TikTok ban and the fact that Trump got it back and what she believes that means. Lord have mercy. Here we go.
I need to show you this. This is so crazy. Now, if you log on to TikTok, you'll see this. Welcome back. Thanks for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the US. And for all of those concerns that people were saying that TikTok is going to be used as a propaganda tool by the Chinese, understand they're using it as a propaganda tool for the right. Now, I want you all to put all the pieces together, because what this effectively means is that every social media platform, mass social media platform in the United States has been taken over by the right wing. When I say put the pieces together, Elon Musk took over Twitter, and there's open reporting. It's pretty obvious as well that they have manipulated the algorithms. They've artificially manipulated the algorithms to boost right-wing content on X and to amplify harassment. Then you have Meta. So you have Mark Zuckerberg, and I know we're on Instagram right now, saying that they're basically also bending the knee to Trump with their changes to fact-checking. It's an open signal. And now TikTok.
So basically she flat out, we've been knowing for a very long time. She's saying that, these social media platforms are censoring the Democrats and boosting conservative content. Girl, everybody knows, and you knew that the Democrats been doing that. that these social media platforms been censoring people on the right, been doing that, or anybody with a sensible opinion. They've been doing that. And now she hops out there on day one, saying that this means, TikTok means that they're going to be in bed with the Trump administration to censor the liberals. When that's been what they've been doing. Just lying. It's been what they've been doing. They've been censoring stuff. They've been canceling everybody else. They've been using their power to shut everybody up. And she's going to pretend like it doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes authority with some people isn't going to work. Meaning they won't have authority over you. They'll always be at your heel, the heel of your foot, like it says in the scripture. The devil will be at the heel of your foot. Always be at the heel of your foot, but they won't change. They won't learn, right? They'll just continue to be evil. And I don't know what the Lord got in store for Miss AOC's future, but right now, she working with the evil. Oh, she working with evil, because at any point, she's just quick to just... She does a lot, just deceive. Just deceive at any freaking point that she finds. She's right there ready to deceive. And she's not being honest. She's not being truthful. She's not being transparent. She bashes. She all kinds of stuff. And flat out, right there, saying that conservatives are now going to be that the social media platforms are censoring Democrats, the left. We know that's a lie. My dog knows that that's a lie. My dog knows that the left has been censoring, and this is why Trump had to get back in there. And she pretending like it didn't happen. And there's people who hear her and pretending with it too, when they even know flat out that's a lie. That's what I'm saying. Some people are just no shame in the game. She know that's a lie. The people who believe it know that's a lie. But yeah, she'll just make that claim, which is so interesting. Very interesting. And it's because hate and anger and deception and evil make you do all kinds of weird, crazy things. It make you not think. It make you lie even though you know you're lying and still lie. It's just crazy. It's mind-blowing. But she's one of them. She definitely, I don't know about what she got going on in her personal life. I don't know. That's not up to me. But when it comes to her little politics, she's playing a dirty game. And no shame about it either. And will just, and then be fake and phony. Not even believable. Not even believable. Not influential, not convincing, but somehow people are still, I don't understand it. I literally do not understand it when it comes to AOC, because she is not believable, not even a little bit. You don't got to know nothing. You could just see that she just up there acting. You could just see it clear. But people got her up there. So, but it's about to change. It's about to change. Trump's in there, and he's gonna make a difference. Is he gonna fix everything? I'm not saying that, but I think he's gonna make a difference. He's gonna make a lot of noise, and it's gonna wake a lot of people up. I really believe that to be true. He's gonna make a lot of noise, upset a lot of people, but wake a lot of people up, because it's time that people start seeing what's going on, but also to feel what authority looks like. Because everybody been running wild, loose, and reckless. And it's time to feel it. And Trump gonna lay the hammer, I think. Anyway, let's get to some calls. Maybe some super chats. Let me see here. We got hold up, Lin Yen Chin. Lin Yen Chin says, why can't Hake... Okay, Lin Yen Chin wrote it this way. Why can't Hake read and time Jesse's sense of what is being presented to him? My wasted message from yesterday was only wasted because Hake didn't understand me and didn't understand Jesse. I'm sorry, Lin Yen Chin, on behalf of Hake. I wasn't there. I didn't know what happened. So you got to take that up with Hake. You can't tell me about it. Because what am I supposed to do? Spank him? I can't do nothing about it, Lin Yen Chin. But I think he heard you. I appreciate the super chat. Lin Yen Chin goes on and sends another super chat and says, everything after the word for was example of intellect without sense is chaos. Sense without inner stillness is mama drama. But he tripped over it all and tripped Jesse on his way through. Why? I don't know, Lin Yen Chin. I don't know why. You gotta ask Hake, Lin Yen Chin. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why Hake does half the things he does. I don't know. I'm still discovering with you. I'm understanding too. Why? I don't know why, Lin. Lin Yen Chin sends another super chat. Appreciate the super chats though, Lin. Your posture is a bit sloppy. Okay, now you're getting crazy, Lin. Now you want to fight or something? What the? But you black, so you don't know no better, Lin. Lin, why you doing me like that? So little bit of DEI there. It was Hassan whose back was more DEI than even Hake's. Why you got to do all that, Lin? My posture is fine. Oh, James does have some pretty good posture. I will admit, Hake is always like, you know? But mine's all right. I wouldn't call it DEI. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. I'll work on... Lynn and Chin has always been correcting me on my posture, my language, my reading skills for like more than 5 years. He's been at it. So I appreciate Lynn and Chin. I'll work on that. All right? But I ain't no DEI. Yo, mama. All right. Let's see what we got here. I'm just checking to make sure I got all those super chats. And then I'm going to get to some calls right now. I know you guys are waiting. Get to the calls. Get to the calls. Get to the calls. Let me go to Kevin out of New York. Kevin, welcome to the show. You're on the air, Kevin.
Hey, Joel. How you doing?
All is well, Kevin. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Thank you.
Right on.
The title of your show really gave me some thinking to do, and I wanted to ask you a question as well, having to do with that title.
Nice.
More specifically, having to do with authority. I don't know where in the Bible it says this, but someone correct me if I'm wrong. It's an instruction that was issued by Jesus. And tell me what you think of it.
Okay.
In which he says that anyone who has authority should renounce it. and become like those who do not have authority. It doesn't say have authority at the end. I just added that so you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
I think that it was referring to, in my opinion, the positions of authority that people in the Bible had, because the people in the Bible who had this position of authority, like the Pharisees and all the others, they just had the position. They didn't really have the authority within, so they couldn't get much done. They were just hooping and hollering and like following the rules of the book, but they didn't really have the authority within. So I think it's referring to the positions of authority, because true authority from God within doesn't mean that you poke your chest out and walk around like you're the big and bad tough guy. It's actually the exact opposite. It's because you're humble and because you are obedient, meaning quick to repent and work on yourself, then is why you actually have true authority, and people recognize that in you.
Oh, wow, that's really interesting. Thank you for that answer. There's a lot of understanding in that answer too. I totally agree with you.
In what way?
Well, even while you were talking, and even before I called, I was thinking, shoot. As you're right, I was originally thinking of it as almost a blanket statement who, in such a way it could be applied to anybody in authority. And then that kind of segues my thought into thinking about Trump too, because shoot, he's probably the only one who falls underneath that category of someone who has authority, but in a spiritual sense, kind of renounces it. To further explain that, shoot, I don't know how many times he's said it now that during his campaign, telling us on TV that he is, quote, bringing the power back to the people.
Yeah.
Where it belonged in the first place.
Yes. That's a great example, and what he's doing in that moment is denouncing his authority of being the president of the United States, this position, this power-held position that seemingly people are supposed to be subject to. He's denouncing that authority and saying that it's about the people. And I like that. And that's what brings true authority from within, is somebody who can take that on.
Very, very interesting. I wanted to say one more thing, and then I'll get off the phone. I know the time is a thing, but the authority thing.
Yeah.
Okay. We're taught that the devil is the prince of this world. You know what I mean? So, in a sense, the devil has authority, but for a short time.
And what do you mean?
I had to. Well, I think about that because, shoot, I think back to that time where Jesus spent all that time out in the wilderness and he was being tempted by Satan while he was out there fasting and praying.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that his authority, the devil's authority, had shown in even that moment, because wasn't it at one point that the devil took Jesus to a high mountain saying that, hey, if you bend the knee and worship me, I will give you all of these kingdoms?
Yeah.
Well, think about that. He wouldn't have said that if it wasn't his to give. But I want to stress that we're also told that his power was temporary. You see what I mean?
Interesting.
And so that.
Oh, go ahead. Finish your point.
Yeah. That's why we have to harp on these very, very important messages to get in a sense, guard ourselves against that authority, because that's what the devil is, unfortunately. I realize not just about myself, but everyone, like our ways of life is disturbingly demonic in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know, like,
That's interesting.
and I'll tell you this too, because I think you'll think this is interesting too. The reason why I brought all that up is because when I was reading about the prophet Isaiah, and God had given Isaiah a vision of God telling Jesus, the Son, to descend from that highest heaven.
Yeah.
Well, it gets into all these strange details about how Jesus was passing through different heavens to get here. Well, when Jesus was about to arrive where we are, it says that in the heaven directly above us, that's where the powers and the principalities are. But Jesus said that in that place they are, quote, contending with things. They're contending and fighting each other with trivial things.
You're breaking up. Come back to the phone.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
I was saying that Jesus was saying that in that place where these principalities and powers are, this heaven directly above us, in that place, these demons are, quote, contending and fighting with each other over trivial things, end quote. And that's stuff that's taught to us. It's literally coming from these demons. We have to realize this, you know what I mean, as we get to know ourselves and try to get closer to God, that all this is really taught. That's why it's so important to unlearn these things that we've been taught for so long.
I'm not quite sure what you mean by the heaven above reference. But what I will say, because I'm also looking at time here, is I will say is that your point about the devil having authority is very interesting. I never thought about it in that way, but it makes sense to me. I have to think about it more. But the idea of the fact that there are things that the devil has control over, and meaning that he can give you things as well, and he has authority over his way of life. And that does make sense to me because, like you say, when Jesus was in the forest, wherever he was being tested, and the devil said, I can give you these things. He does have the power to give these things, right? And imitate as if they're from God or as if they're something good or whatever. He does have the authority to do that. But I've never heard it put in that way. But it's something to think about, man. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the call. And just because the time here, I gotta keep the calls moving. But we can get more into that another time.
Yeah, totally understand. Hey, thanks for taking my call. It was some really interesting things.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. Call me again. It's interesting. I ain't just saying to say it either. I've never heard it put that way. But it's an interesting point. Let me go to I'm looking at time here. Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
My brother Joel, man, good afternoon to you, brother.
All is well, Rick. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great to see our President Trump get inaugurated officially.
Yep.
And I just love when I saw Kamala Harris officially seal her butt whooping.
Yeah. And did you watch the inauguration?
Yes, I did. I tell you this, Melania, as President Trump, Melania, she looked very beautiful. I loved her outfit. I loved how she had the hat covering her eyes.
Yeah.
It looked really nice, man. I'm like, wow.
No, it really did.
Even my wife, even my wife said, "Oh, I love her dress." Yeah.
No, it really did. And then
go ahead,
another thing too is when you're talking about Kamala Harris, did you see how Kamala and Biden and Doug and all the people over there, they were not clapping at all during Trump's speech the people?
I saw that because a lot was doing to their programs. I wouldn't clap either.
Yeah. Was
talking about like out of control borders, there are policies.
yeah,
High crime, there are policies. High inflation,
yeah.
there are policies. And I mean, I don't know any good President Biden done.
Yeah, and that's probably why they didn't clap, because they just see Trump so much as like an enemy to their ideas. So they think that if I clap, that means I agree or some kind of stuff. But I also think sometimes I think it's respectful to be present, and they have a right not to sit there and clap. But I just thought that was funny how they just sat there and like didn't clap at all about anything, and it was interesting. But yeah, I'm happy
I can
that
see
Trump's
why,
in there.
because he was talking about their policies, and they like to
Yeah.
say, "Man, you talking about us now, so you can't support that." That's what I believe.
Fair enough.
I really believe that. And I tell you, and with the Facebook too. Now AOC, she's getting over there now. When they was using it, now they talk about that's why it's so important to have a wait to see attitude. Now she's putting the stuff toward Trump, trying to censor people from speaking that they gonna go back and try to get them. So if they wasn't doing wrong, they have peace about it.
Right.
But now they're nervous.
Yeah.
But
how come
Trump ain't gonna even do that?
But how come there was no accountability for that? That's what gets me, is that like there's no accountability at all, zero. Why don't you just admit that you guys were doing that? You know, the Biden administration was doing that. AOC was on the side of that, and why not the accountability of what you guys done? But instead, it's just like a constant like pointing the finger. So it's just a mess.
It's like it's like Zuckerberg wants to say it with the Biden administration, but for some reason he's probably a little nervous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I see. But other than that, I believe, like I said, Biden tried to do everything to censor people, man. Even from the COVID, from the vaccine shot, all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's why he pardoned Fauci, the leprechaun that he is.
Yep.
And he pardoned him.
All that stuff.
Because yep. And I'm hoping too people can possibly sue the government from being forced to take that vaccine as a government.
Yeah, they were bullying
employee.
people. They were bullying people.
Yes, sir.
They were doing that the whole time, and
yes, sir.
And that's why I love the fact that all this stuff is starting to come out now, whether Zuckerberg has an agenda or not. But the fact that it's coming out, because everybody was thinking this may be happening, and when you hear like a social media giant like Zuckerberg say that it was happening, it's confirmation that these people have been corrupt and they've been had an agenda, and they've been bullying people to do things, which is not America, which is not free speech, which is not your choice, and it was just obvious. So it's nice that Zuckerberg spoke on that.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised at all, man. Anything that just pushing their agenda, and like I said, when I hear them talk about democracy and stuff, I say I don't want to hear it, guys. If anybody's not for democracy, it's you guys.
Yeah.
But like I said, they control the media, so they can put whatever they want out, and then people tend to believe it.
Yeah.
I don't even watch the news. I don't watch CNN. The only thing I probably watch is see what they're talking about. But other than that, to get reliable news, I don't watch them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't watch them, man. I don't watch. I watch Fox and what's that? Newsmax on YouTube.
Nice.
And that's what, and Sky Australia. I like Sky Australia news.
Nice. Why? I'm sorry, Rick. I got to end, and I also,
okay.
Yeah, we can't promote the news stations.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But,
I didn't mean to do it. I was just saying, right, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
I wasn't trying to do anything.
No, I totally understand. I really mainly I'm out of time, and American Anchor Baby is about to come in right now. But just a heads up, that we can't be name dropping.
Yes, sir.
But Fox News is fine.
Hammering me on that. Okay.
I appreciate it, Rick. Thank you, man.
No problem, Joel. Love you, brother, man. Continue the good work, man. I'll try and support all y'all shows.
All right. Appreciate it. Lizo and the rest of the calls, I can't get to you today. You can call in tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. Relationship Wednesday. We gonna get into some stuff. We'll see what happens. But That's the plan. We trying out these new themed episodes. But my last point I want to make is that if you're paying attention, and if you were paying attention, you will see that the people on the left, the Democrats, oftentimes do not play fair. They smear, they deceive, they trick, and all that little stuff that they've been doing is now being revealed. It's now being revealed. It's now being shown, right? It's turning on its back, and everybody's starting to see it. And that's why sometimes you just gotta let people be. And it's a lesson from my life as well that I've learned in my life, is that sometimes you just gotta let people be, because they'll reveal themselves. They'll expose themselves. And that way it can't be denied. There won't be no, well, maybe not. You're just being mean. No, people will see it for themselves, the truth, if you let them reveal it themselves. And they'll see it for themselves. So we're seeing that now. So it's interesting. I appreciate you guys tuning in. American Anchor Baby's coming in right now. Make sure you guys tune in. Check out his show. Also, I'm back here tomorrow for another episode. We'll get into some more stuff. Shout out to all the calls, the super chats, and everything. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. I will read the rest of the super chats tomorrow, if the Lord is willing and the creek is cool with it. Until next time, y'all, I gotta go. Bye.